Hi, welcome back. My name is Tad Hargrave, and so if you saw the first video, then you saw the what I'm about, and if you haven't, you can take a look at that. But what I want to cover in this video is the 4 key marketing secrets that I cover in my weekend, the Radical Business Intensive. And we'll go over those, and if you stick around at the end of the video, you're going to see that there's a link where you can download some materials that I normally give away at the weekend that are probably worth about $500 overall over the series of these videos. So there's 4 key sort of components or secrets that I look at in terms of marketing, and I think it's true for all businesses, and definitely particularly true for green businesses. The first thing to look at, and sort of the bottom line, the basis that I look at for most businesses, is this idea of the niche. And I may use this word a little differently than you understand it, or maybe you've heard about it before. So if the word doesn't work for you, you can just throw it out and replace it with whatever makes sense for you. But the idea is that the most important thing in business is who it is you're going after. And there's a real question, why this matters and everything, but we'll go into that in a little bit. I'm just going to cover some of the basics here. When we look at the niche, we're really looking at a combination of 2 things. We're looking at who's your target market, and what is the problem that they're facing. It's those 2 things. What's the target market, and what's the problem? The target market is where you would find them physically, or at least knowing what it is helps you understand where you would physically find these people. The problem is sort of not how you find them physically, but how you reach them emotionally. And there's 3 criteria for a target market. So a target market could be something like single mothers. It could be chemically sensitive people in a certain city. It could be, there's so many. It could be lawyers, doctors, all those sorts of things. It could be dog owners who are looking to move to a different place. So finding that niche is really critical. And there's 3 criteria of how you know if you found a good niche. The first criteria is that they have a common set of needs. They have a common set of needs you can help them with. They have a common set of needs that you can help them with. And that's really the bottom line. If that's not true, there's no conversation in business. The second key is that there's enough of them. And that's really important. You might have a really great target and it's really compelling, and they have problems you can help them with, but if there's only 3 of them in town, it's not much use. The third secret, or key criteria for a niche, is that there's already established hubs. There's already established hubs. And what is a hub? We'll get into that in a second. Essentially, it's a place where they gather. Basically, what we're asking here is, can we find them? Are there places where they already gather, they already hang out, where we can reach them? So that's the first key, is having a clear niche. And what I find is, it's funny, I've talked to a lot of my marketing consulting friends. We say, if we're working with a client and for whatever reason we're getting stuck, what's often true is that those people have a fuzzy sense of their niche, or we've lost sight of it. And if we can get back to this, everything else gets easy. So the 3 other steps I'm going to cover here all really rely on having a good target, on having a good niche. So that's the first thing. The second thing is the idea of the offer. The offer is really the center of the marketing. One of the biggest mistakes that people make is trying to fix their product or service problems with marketing. They think, we're just going to sell the sizzle, not the steak. Instead of making our product or service better, we're just going to figure out how to market it better. And that the heart of marketing is really this idea of a sort of a quid pro quo, a this for that, a trade. You give me this money, I give you this in return. And people often make the mistake of designing their product and service and then asking, how do I market it? But instead, we've got to ask ourselves, how can we make our product or service inherently so compelling that people really want it? And not just really want it, say wow about it, tell all their friends about it. So this is the heart of it. I often, at the weekends, I usually spend probably half the time just looking at this idea of the offer, because everything else that we're going to look at is rooted in this. And you'll see how it ties to the niche, that what's irresistible to one niche is going to be garbage to another niche. What's going to be really exciting and compelling for single mothers having childcare, for bachelors, that's not going to matter at all. So we need to look at this offer entirely in the context of the niche. Who are you going after? Now, your business may have multiple niches. We'll talk more about that later. But the offer has got to, there's three things that the offer has to do, or three criteria. First one is that it needs to be relevant to people, and specifically relevant to the problems that they're going through. The second thing is that they need to know that you're credible, or that the offer is credible, that's believable. And third, that it's valuable. And relevance, credibility, and value are three words I'm going to come back to again and again and again through these videos. So again, when people look at our business, there's usually four questions that go off in their mind. First is, what are you trying to sell me? Just on a basic level, what is this? Number two, how much does it cost? Number three, what's in it for me? And number four, why should I trust you? And we want to design our products and services to be so good, to be so appealing and attractive, both in what the product or service is, in the process that people go through to buy our product or service. We want it to be so good that they're actively trying to get it and actively telling all their friends about it. And again, if you look at the end of this video, you're going to see a link that you can go to that will give you some free materials to work with to take this all a little deeper.